Look, we've all done some questionable things. Maybe you left your shopping cart in the middle of the parking lot. Maybe you forgot to text somebody back for about 3 weeks. Maybe you've eaten food that has somebody else's name on it in the work refrigerator. And in all those moments, you probably thought, dang, am I a bad person? Chances are, you are. But you're not as bad as these people that I'm about to name on this list. Today, we're going to be ranking the worst people to exist ever in human history. And compared to these people, trust me, you like a Disney character. So chill out. Alright, come with me. Let's get to number 10. At number 10, we have Vlad the Impaler. Imagine being so committed to one thing that it becomes your nickname. Not basketball, not music, not cooking, but impaling people. It's crazy. Well, that's literally how Vlad got remembered. And I ain't talking about Vlad TV. If history gives you a nickname and it's the Impaler, then you was stepping on something. You was stepping on something. Alright, number 9, we got Idi Amin. Idi Amin, he ruled Uganda in the 1970s. Some of you may have heard of him. His leadership style could be best described as everything is somehow getting worse. Political opponents disappeared. The economy collapsed. Look, if there was a leaderboard for terrible management, my man definitely would be making the playoffs. My man would be in it. He competing for the title. At number 8, we have Ivan the Terrible. I'm sorry, y'all, but that sounds like a terrifying white man. Fun fact, his nickname wasn't given by Twitter or modern day historians. Look, this man literally earned his nickname in his own time. People looked at him and said, yeah, terrible seems about right. Yeah. When people who actually lived under your rule give you that nickname, yeah, that's a terrible review. Yeah, 1 star. We ain't messing with Ivan the Terrible. At number 7, we got the infamous Saddam Hussein. Yeah, baby. Saddam Hussein spent years sliding on the ops and leading through fear. I mean, total terror. Saddam was that. He was one of them ones. Imagine getting negative Yelp reviews from an entire country. That's basically how history remembers Saddam Hussein. Wars, violence, repression. Not exactly a Hall of Fame resume. I mean, maybe for the worst people in history, he's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. At number 6, and I think this is pretty high, but we got to put him at number 6 because the rest of the people on this list, I mean, they give him a run for his money. But at number 6, we got Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan, now, he built one of the largest empires in human history. Don't get it twisted. And I mean, yeah, it sounds impressive until you hear how he did it. Imagine showing up to a city and your reputation arrives before you do. You know, I think he's the reason we have that term, your reputation precedes you. Genghis Khan had a terrible reputation. I mean, that's both impressive and yet absolutely terrifying. You ain't want to mess with Genghis Khan. Number 5, Leopold II. Here we have another terrible white man. Leopold II somehow looked at an entire region and thought, you know what this needs more? More exploitation. I think that's what it needs. Yeah, sounds good. His rule over the Congo became one of history's darkest examples of greed. Now, just warning you, at this point in the list, this is where history goes from being awful to being cartoonishly awful. Number 4, Pol Pot. Pol Pot decided he wanted to completely redesign society. Nowadays, most people try that by starting a podcast. You know what I'm saying? A little podcast. Make sure you like the video. Pol Pot tried it on an entire country. He was a gangster. Needless to say, the results were catastrophic. I mean, millions of people suffered under Pol Pot. And Cambodia, still dealing with the consequences till this day. Alright, now, before we get into the top 3, make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified when I do more content, upload videos like this. Number 3, we got Mao Zedong. Mao led one of the largest countries on earth. The problem? Some of his biggest policies ended in total disaster. Mass famine, political persecution, utter chaos. Look, when historians start arguing over whether the death toll was tens of millions or more than tens of millions, you've officially entered the nightmare tier of this list. You a bad mother. Alright, coming in at number 2. Who y'all think this is? That's right, Joseph Stalin. And honestly, if this list ended here, I don't think nobody would complain. That's just how bad Stalin was. Political purges, labor camps, mass repression. Living under Stalin meant constantly wondering if today was going to be much worse than it was yesterday. Literally. And unfortunately, it often was. Now, for the number 1 spot. You probably guessed it already. Big Adolf, the hitman. Now, what he did was not funny. Adolf Hitler, World War II, the Holocaust, millions upon millions of deaths, a level of destruction and suffering that still shapes the world today. When people talk about evil throughout history, this is usually the benchmark that everybody else gets compared to, which is why for many historians and for this channel here, we put Hitler at the number 1 spot, which makes Hitler the worst human to ever live. Man, how do you get that? How do you get a reputation? How do you get a reputation as the worst person to ever live? So there you have it. 10 people who should be very grateful that there isn't a human history customer review section. Wouldn't be getting a lot of stars. But what do you think? Who belongs on this list? Who got ranked too high? Who got ranked too low? And most importantly, what's the worst thing you've ever done? Bad dog. And unless your answer starts with invaded a country or caused a famine, you probably doing alright.